Okay, folks. Thanks everyone for your time. This is going to be pretty fast. We'll run through it in about 10 or 15 minutes, I hope, and then we'll do questions if anyone has any. I'm Remy, and I'm the social media strategist for PIA, and we've got this great campaign we've been working on. Zan's been working super hard on it. Colby did all the coding and some of the graphic design, and Chad has been a key strategic advisor throughout the whole process. So we've got some big stuff planned. Well, we've been doing big stuff leading up to this event, and then I'm going to run you guys through what we're going to do on the day of and then the days after. So for anyone who doesn't know, PIA has been doing, PIA has been doing research in social media for a couple years, and I'm showing you guys this just to give you a little bit of context so you understand why this is valuable. So in 2010, we surveyed Plugin America members, detailed online survey, about 700 people took it, and we found out some really interesting things. Electric car consumers and prospective consumers are heavy users of social media. They don't always use it optimally to reach the larger target audience, the mainstream market that we're going after, but they use it a lot. That was one significant finding, and so it's basically a potentially very effective communications channel for driving EV awareness. We did publish a white paper and a consumer article based on the findings, and those are available on my website. The URL is down there, cleantechms/white paper. You can get both of those articles there. Anyone who's interested in this stuff probably would find that to be worthwhile. And so now here we are, basically using NPID 2012 as the first opportunity to realize the strategic recommendations that we made as a result of all the research. So it's pretty cool, and it fits into a lot of Plugin America's future plans and some of the objectives and other campaigns we're going to be running as far as... Oh, PowerPoint's getting buggy. Okay. As far as establishing ourselves as a thought leader in social media. We all know that Plugin America needs to know how to dominate the media in general and influence the media and respond to misinformation about electric cars, and social media is a huge part of that. So we're using this, both the research we've done and now this huge campaign, to prove that we really know what's up in the social media space. Okay, so leading up to this, we've been doing this Facebook contest, 10 iPad 3s. We've been promoting it like crazy on Facebook. We've got all the custom graphics. We've been doing a little bit of advertising. We went into the NPID website and hacked into it and added the contest button. So essentially the way this works is in order to enter to win one of 10 iPads, which will be given away in select cities that have yet to be determined, you have to like Plugin America, like the Sierra Club, and share the contest on Facebook. So we've gotten about 800 new Facebook fans so far. The contest was designed to drive turnout on the 23rd or the 22nd, depending on when your city's celebrating it, and not to like go viral and get us gazillion new Facebook fans. So it's been successful so far for sure in that capacity, but this is really just a run-up. We've been using this as, we've been building marketing and promotional campaigns around this contest, but this is really only... Well, every time I do that, it takes me out of PowerPoint. Here we are. This is really just the run-up. The truly exciting stuff is happening the day of. So they're going to be photo ops galore, and we're going to be documenting all these events nationwide using the Instagram app. Now, most of you have probably heard of Instagram. Chances are you haven't all used it, but it is a social network that is built entirely around an app. So it's this super robust app, and the vast majority of Instagram activity takes place on phones, and that's it. These images also end up showing up on the internet in other places, whether it's Facebook or Pinterest or Twitter or Foursquare, but it starts with Instagram. And so we're asking that everyone have Instagram loaded onto an iPhone or Android smartphone. It does not work on BlackBerry, and preferably, if you can, try to get an 8-megapixel camera. It's okay if it's not yours. If you can borrow a friend's iPhone, the iPhone 4S has the best camera. Some of the Android phones also have pretty great cameras. So if you're able to get a nice camera for this, that'll just help. But otherwise, any smartphone can pretty much do this if it's Android or Apple. So install the Instagram app, and we're going to walk through how that works in a second. And we're building all this buzz around hashtags, and hashtags basically enable social media users to discover content they're interested in by entering in this hashtag and searching. So we're going to be using the hashtags NPID 2012, which is the official hashtag, and we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of exactly how these hashtags work in a moment, but anything related to electric cars, pound EV, pound PHEV, pound Tesla, pound Nissan Leaf, pound Chevy Volt. If you're taking a picture of the Leaf, you would use the Leaf hashtag, and same for the Volt. So, you wouldn't take a picture of the Leaf or a happy consumer with their Leaf and enter the Chevy Volt hashtag. Now, another cool thing here is to enter hashtags such as pound energy security, and that way someone who is interested in learning about energy security by way of images would happen upon a picture of an electric car, right? So you can kind of get creative with the hashtags, or pound sustainability. So things like that, that's kind of how hashtags work. I think I pretty much got into most of the ways that Instagram works. You can just easily share on all these different social networks, and we've got screenshots coming up of that in a moment. But what you should take a note of in the lower right there is the NPID Instagram login. So we're all going to be logged in at the same time as National Plugin Day. And once you've installed the Instagram app, it'll ask you for your username, and multiple people can be logged into the same app at the same time. Password is plugin 2012, and we'll have that up there again at the end of the presentation. Okay, so this is me at... Sure. Good question. I think it is, but I'm not positive. I should know. I'm sorry, I don't know that. Go for it. Yeah. I don't think it is case sensitive, but honestly, I'm not sure. Great. So I'm going to walk you guys through an example. So this is me at the Green Auto Expo. That was the Toyota RAV4 EV, which was amazing, by the way. You should all drive it if you have a chance. We can kind of just pretend that this is happening on National Plugin Day. So the app is installed. I took the picture. One thing you need to know about Instagram is that it takes the picture as a square, not the rectangle that we're used to. So when you frame it, you're going to be framing it within a square. And this is important not just for framing purposes, but if you end up using the camera on your phone without going through the Instagram app, it's going to take a rectangle, right? Obviously. And it's not too late to upload through Instagram if you use the regular camera. And some of you might, if you don't have Instagram figured out immediately, you might find yourself using the regular camera. It's easier if you go straight through Instagram, but it's not the end of the world. You can upload anything from your photo album on your phone through Instagram, but the key thing you have to do is crop the photo before you upload it. So you can crop within Instagram, but it won't prompt you. If you don't crop, you're going to get big black bars, top and bottom, so that in order for it to make a rectangle fit into a square, right? And then it looks pretty amateur. So anyway, ideally you just go in through the Instagram app and do all the photo taking there. But okay, we've got the password is, we have someone asking for the password, plugin 2012. If you take a picture using the Instagram app, no cropping is necessary. If you take it and that's what we want to do because it's basically just simpler. If you take it, if you find, it could happen that, you pulled out your camera, you couldn't get the app loaded, or who knows what, or you came across some picture later from a different phone, or a different camera and you still want to upload it through Instagram, there are definitely ways you can do it. You can still add the filter. So just because you didn't take it through Instagram doesn't mean it's the end of the world. But you do want to upload it through Instagram, and not only because so that you get the square cropped correctly, but also because you need to geotag while you're on location. And we'll talk about geotagging more in a second, but you want to geotag while you're at your event. And so if you were to upload it through Instagram while you're at home later, the geotagging wouldn't work. So we've taken our picture. We're going to add a filter. And I've added the lo-fi filter to this one. Boom, lo-fi. There are all these filters. If you haven't used them before, they might seem a little bit weird. And frankly, sometimes I think they make the photos look worse, not better. Play around with them and try to just be open-minded about what you could be doing. And you might want to think about it as just trying to make them look different and distinct, and not necessarily better. Sometimes they will look better. Other times, you're like, I can't believe it, I just don't like how these look. You can also add the hashtag #NoFilter. There's like sort of an anti-filter movement on Instagram where people deliberately don't do the filter, but if you do that and you want to be super cool, then add the #NoFilter hashtag. But if you're a photographer, these might annoy you a little bit. So try a few different ones out and add them at least some of the time, because they will make the photos stand out as being from Instagram. And we're going to be cross-posting them to Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest. And again, you have all these photos going through Pinterest and Facebook all the time, so if we have our filters on there, then they're going to stand out and get a little bit more attention. Mm-hmm. That's a great question. So as it happens, hashtags don't work on Facebook. A lot of people think they do. What a hashtag does is it links it basically creates a link to everything, for everyone who wants to learn about that hashtag. It will link the photo, it'll link the text, it'll link everything. Facebook does not support hashtag linking. So you can enter them in there all day, they're never going to create a link. Sometimes people ask them, exactly, that's usually it. Exactly. So we're going to be going from Instagram to Twitter and to Pinterest and to Facebook. And if you want, you can go to Foursquare too. And hashtags do work on Twitter and Pinterest and obviously Instagram. So yeah, they're a little bit weird. Facebook doesn't support them. I'm sure they have some good reason that they don't, but they don't. But you will see them going through. Yeah. Great. Okay, so oh, I had these. I should have opened these. We're going to get more into that. It goes to your personal Facebook account and your personal Twitter account too, which is why they're optional. So you don't have to share to Facebook and Twitter, but it's good to if you're comfortable with it, kind of leading by example and whatnot. Plus, you really just get more visibility. I should have had these turned on before, but the default is for your photo map to be turned on. This is super important, and it'll make more sense in a moment, but most phones have GPS on automatically. Some people turn them off to save battery power, but you do want to have it on. Otherwise, geotagging won't work. And number 3 there, select location from drop-down menu. If you have your GPS on, then it's automatically going to be, it's going to prompt you. It's going to give you a list of locations that have already been added in via Foursquare. So the geotagging is actually powered by Foursquare. What that means is if there is not a Foursquare location that's already been added to where you are, it won't give you anything as an option, and in that case, you can either skip it or create a custom location right there on the spot, which is easy. But feel free to skip it, And also, if it pulls up a location that is not which is next to the NPID event, but not actually at the NPID event, then again, just skip it. Photo mapping can be turned on and functioning even if you haven't selected an actual location from the drop-down menu. Any questions here before we go to the next one? Cool. And by the way, okay, yeah, go ahead. You definitely can do it to both. The question is, can you do it both simultaneously? And I don't actually know. Go ahead and try. See what happens. You can definitely disconnect and reconnect. So you could take a few, and then you could take a bunch, post them to your business page, and then change your connection to your personal Facebook page and post them there too. Great question. Haven't tried it, but I know that Instagram can connect to both. Yep. And you don't have to. You should not need to have a Foursquare account. And by the way, this is being recorded also, because I know this stuff is kind of confusing for people who aren't social media geeks like me. And it's also on my blog, laid out hopefully pretty clearly on my blog with a lot of these screenshots. Okay, the photo map. So I think this is amazing. This is where the geotagging comes in. Instagram just created this photo mapping thing. And basically, so the photo map you're looking at on the right is just someone's random photo map. But essentially it takes every picture that has been taken by the Instagram account while you're logged in, provided that geotagging is on, and it populates them across a map. So what we're going to end up with at the end of this event is a map of the US with tons of pictures of EVs and people with EVs and happy people with EVs and iPads and all that. And then anyone who goes and looks at our photo map, and we'll do sort of is there a question here there? Hello? Was there a question? Oh, no problem. Okay, so look back with the photo map here. So just imagine afterwards, imagine a map of the US with just every thumbnail you see there is just an electric car or someone with an electric car or something related to NPID. And then anyone who's checking out our photo map will see electric cars everywhere across the US. So we'll do all of our post-game analysis and marketing, and then we can use this to show the success of our campaign. Plus people surfing the web and surfing Instagram will find all these photos, so it's pretty cool. So make sure photo mapping is turned on, please, and we should have hundreds, maybe thousands of photos at all these different locations nationwide. Great question. So I've got the Tesla, so in this case it's the RAV4 EV, which is powered by Tesla, right? So say someone is on Instagram or on Twitter or on Pinterest and they want to see pictures of Teslas. They will enter pound Tesla into a search box, and every picture that's resident on Instagram or Pinterest or Twitter that has that hashtag added will come up. So that person who's interested in learning about Teslas will get to see the picture of me with the cool RAV4 EV. Does that make sense? So Plugin America, we're like scrambling to get all this done in time. I think we've maybe claimed it. Awesome. Thank you, Zan. Because yes, Pinterest is next. No, Pinterest is, yes, this is the Pinterest slide. So now, you will see on the Instagram app that you can cross-post to a lot of places, but you can't pin from Instagram yet. But luckily there's a solution. The website is Statagram, and you can go to statagram.com and log in as National Plugin Day like we've done right here, and you can start pinning. which is super cool. So we haven't decided yet, and you can see here that, so it's pulling in, it's pulling in the hashtags and the copy. Oh, you know what? I have to go back here. Sorry. One important thing here is to add creative copy if you can. So rather than just put the hashtags in, put something funny in or witty or at least relevant. I wrote just drove my dream SUV, the new Toyota RAV4 EV, and love it. You can probably come up with something better. But funny, clever, relevant, and more people will share it and like it and comment on it. And social media has a lot of entertainment value for people. So if you can add some creative copy, you could add the person's name. Do whatever you want, but better to add something than to just do hashtags. Okay. Statigram. So the real thing, I would say the main reason we like Statigram is because we can use it to pin to Pinterest, because Pinterest is even bigger than Instagram. Instagram's pretty big now. So you actually need to be on a PC browser. Statigram does not work through a phone. Yeah, or a Mac. Yes, Mac or PC. I'm on a Mac actually, so it works on. Yeah. So okay, so basically what we've done up until now was at the event, and now we're doing sort of after the event. In fact, not sort of, definitely after the event. And everything from here on out, it's going to happen on a computer, not on a phone. Not on an iPad either. Julie wants to join. And Jane wants to join. So to log into Statigram, the username and the password is the same. And okay, let me back up a second here. I don't want people who don't use Pinterest to feel overwhelmed. This Pinterest part, if you like Pinterest, then we would love to engage you and have you help us pin. If you could care less about Pinterest and you've never used it, then Plugin America volunteers can do the pinning afterwards. This slide is to drive home the importance of the geotagging and all the hashtagging and the copywriting so that we can easily pin, because in order to track down these photos in Statigram, we need the hashtags to be added. So this is just to show you guys it's really important to add the hashtags when you're taking the pictures. And for anyone who's interested in helping us pin to Pinterest, we would welcome that help, and please get in touch. If you're already on Pinterest, because you would basically, to pin to the Plugin America Pinterest page, you're going to need the Plugin America login, and we're willing to give that out to people. We just haven't gotten to that point yet. So yeah, if anyone wants to help carry the social media load, I don't use Pinterest that much. I know how to, but if anyone, some people love Pinterest. So if you're one of those folks and you want to help out, awesome, cool. You like social media, don't you? You've seen that I can, like, as do I. Great, glad to meet you. Okay, so I think we are. Yeah, basically, we looked at Pinterest and we found that there weren't very many pictures of electric cars. It was kind of hit or miss. This is a search for the hashtag electric car. This is all that we get. Not a whole lot going on. If you do a search for Tesla, you might find more. Random stuff, you might find more. They might not be good pictures. They might not be pictures with people in them. There's just not that much great content on Pinterest. Considering how many people use Pinterest, it would really benefit EVs to have way more pics of electric cars. And thinking about how many pictures you're going to want to take there and focusing on quality versus quantity, I think we should go more for quality. You don't need to take, so it's going to depend how big your event is, right? So LA, Times Square, San Francisco, and definitely some other cities too, maybe Nashville, and I'm sure some others. There'll probably be a lot of great photo ops, but we don't need to have dozens and dozens. I mean, let's face it, nobody wants to look at thousands of pictures. People would rather look at a few hundred that are great. So let's definitely focus on on quality over quantity. And that'll also help us take the time to make sure we do the hashtags right and to add in the creative copy correctly and to not feel overwhelmed by taking tons of pictures and having to add copy to every one and make it right. We really want to, let's focus more on good ones and getting, nice filters and making them stand out. We don't need to just go insane with quantity. So, oh yeah, now we're on to tagging a photo on Facebook, right? So we talked about sharing it on Pinterest, and it's automatically going to get shared on Instagram. Now we want to get it over to Facebook because most of the action is still taking place on Facebook. So this is assuming that you have set up cross-posting, and you have now cross-posted it to either your personal Facebook page or some kind of business page that you manage. And you are going to click on the photo. It's going to show, okay, so basically it gets dumped into an Instagram album. And you're going to go into your photo albums and you'll find the Instagram album. And you'll open up this photo and you can start tagging. And you can see down there at the lower right, you can tag. And what a tag does is it sends the person or individual who has been tagged a notification that they've been tagged. And then that person gets the notification and they will be more likely to engage with the photo. They'll start liking it, they'll comment on it, their friends will comment on it, their friends will like it. It creates this chain reaction that can create some viral activity and really increase the visibility of this picture. Especially if it's a cool picture and you have some funny witty copy, you can get a lot of sharing happening here. If you just cross-post it to Facebook but you don't do the tagging and the sharing that we'll see in a moment, they kind of get lost in photo albums. It's a big missed opportunity. So do the tagging. And this is, you can please tag Plugin America, tag Sierra Club if you want. You can just tag anything and everything. Just go tag crazy. Tag people. If the RAV4 EV has a page, you can tag that page. You can tag the Tesla page. You can tag the Nissan Leaf page. You can just be a tagaholic. Tag as much as you want. Cross-posting, and you can do, I think it will prompt you when you log into your phone. If it doesn't prompt you, then right here, it'll start grayed out, right, if you're not synced up, and then click this button and it should prompt you to sync your account. And then when you take a picture, it will also give you the option to cross-post it, I think every time you take a picture. Yeah, good idea to get in and play around with it before the actual event. Okay. By all means. Yep. I haven't tried that, but I think you probably can. Let me know what you find out. So it's the same for Instagram and Statagram, and it's National Plugin Day is the user. Yep. And we'll also show it again at the end of the presentation. It's on the closing slide, and it's Plugin 2012. So we saw how to tag it, and now we're going to share it because it goes into your Instagram photo album, but it does not actually get shared to your timeline. So like I said, it kind of gets lost in there unless you share it. So you do it from the same place that you tagged. You just use the menu to share, and you can share on your own timeline, and you can either share it publicly if you're like me and you just share everything publicly. Not everyone wants to do that, and if you don't, you can just share it to your friends and family. So there's a drop-down menu that will allow you to enable who gets to see it. But I would encourage people to share it publicly. That means that anyone, for whatever random reason, who ends up looking at your timeline, whether they're a Facebook stalker or they're just a random person that happened upon it through a link from someone else's Facebook page, they can see your picture. So that's up to you. But do share it. Whether you just share it with your friends and family or share it publicly, please share it to your timeline. And then it'll be posted there permanently. Because the Facebook timeline becomes sort of a story about your life. And not everything goes to it. You can be very strategic and have total control over what actually goes to the timeline. So when you tag it, it goes into the photo gallery for every organization that has, or individual that has been tagged. So I tagged Plugin America, and we're looking at Plugin America's photo gallery there on the left. And if I tagged Sierra Club, it would be in their gallery too, so that's pretty cool. And then on the right, you can see that I posted it to I shared it to my Facebook timeline, and I got a bunch of people who liked it and commented on it. So that's kind of what you hope for when you share it to your timeline. And that's really, that makes the photo go a lot farther than letting it just hang out in your photo album and not sharing it. So I think it's pretty clear the difference right there. Questions about tagging and sharing? That is a team effort. I do that, Colby does it, Zan does it, Kirk does it. I produce the contest that's happening right now. Colby and I did that, but promoting it, and then Zan, of course, has done all of her great PR stuff, getting people to engage with it. So it's been a team effort for sure. Yep. So, Zan, I would say that it would probably be a good idea to, this is thinking out loud, but we just got started on Pinterest because, we're rushing to do this. And I think that the plan for Pinterest is to create a bunch of pin boards and organize all these pictures by brand. So I have a pin board for Tesla, a pin board for Nissan, a pin board for Blink Ecotality, another one for Clume, right? So that they're organized and not just have a gazillion pictures on one board that no one can figure out what to do with. So we want to have our pin boards organized, and we want to make them accessible and discoverable with all the hashtags, and we're going to encourage all the people who are running Facebook business pages, whether it's Tesla or Nissan or anyone else, to grab those photos and to share them. To share them on Pinterest, to share them on Facebook. So we want it to become a resource that electric car marketers everywhere can draw upon. So that's our vision for Pinterest. So Zan, I think it's okay for us to give the Pinterest login out to people who already know how to use Pinterest and are willing to help us do that. I think anyone who uses... Oh, I thought you'd created one. But if you haven't created one, then we haven't done one yet. Okay, we'll take care of this later because people probably have things to do. But the answer is we will most likely decide that we will create the official Plugin America Pinterest page, and we'll give the login information out to city captains who know how to use Pinterest, and we will be very appreciative. Thanks. Awesome. Oh, here we are. Great, just in time. So, yeah, that was the last slide. Did we have any questions about the sharing or the tagging? Okay, cool. And so my blog, cleantechms.com, basically has the presentation I just gave laid out, step by step with the screenshots. So if anyone has questions, you can go back there. And I guess I'll make this into a video and post it on YouTube. It's long and all over the place now, but maybe it'll still help some people out to watch it again. And yeah, unless we have any other questions, that's it. Great. Thanks, Ann. All right, I can't wait to see that photo map, guys. So happy Instagram photo taking. Bye.